there have only been 3 Indian movies that have been nominated for an Academy Award. And Satyajit Ray did get an honorary Oscar. And it's been 21 years since Lagan. People have seen Lagan? Lagan is a masterpiece. Lagan is wonderful, and it was nominated, but it's been 21 years, and you were a very humble man, obviously you would never say this, but I certainly believe that 21 years is long enough for an Indian film to not get nominated for an Academy Award. And, you know, these things happen from the grassroots up. So I declare that the IFC Center in New York City is officially the kickoff of the campaign to get this film nominated for whether it's hashtag OscarRR or whatever it is.
It's RRR for Oscars.
Never ever I expected RRR to do well with the Western audiences. I didn't even have an inclination towards that. And when RRR released and when I started getting the responses one by one, I thought, okay, maybe there are few. Then few went to hundreds went into thousands, and there were people, story writers, directors, critics, people from different fields talking highly about RRR. Then I realized something that I never knew about myself or my films.
You know, the Bahubali franchise and RRR, the Telugu films, I think were just loved across India with equal enthusiasm, which is what I'm really, what you're talking about. What do you attribute that to? Is it just the storytelling? Is it the source material? How is this a game changer?
There are 2 things, Paul. One is definitely the source material. There are films which are made on certain sensibilities, which will not be able to travel across the across the barriers, across the states, because it is very specific to that community, to that state, to that country. Likewise, you have films which are universal in content. If you are talking about Bahubali 2 or Iga or RRR, where the story is predominantly based on human emotions and a lot of spectacle. This has the ability to travel to any person across the world. It doesn't matter.
You actually told stories that were intrinsically Indian stories. They're rooted in mythology, they're rooted in Indian history, and yet these were films that spoke to a much larger audience than typically Indian cinema tends to reach out to. What do you attribute that to?
Basically, I believe a good story is a good story for all the people across the globe, whichever country they are in. But to take a story to cross the boundaries, for a story to cross boundaries, to cross cultures, there are many hurdles. But I think the principal hurdle is belief. Principally, if I don't believe that I have a good enough story that transcends boundaries, then there is no way I can make the other audiences believe that I have that story. So I think principally it is the belief. If we have that, the other hurdles can be crossed.
Have the two of you seen anything of RRR? Have you seen?
Well, I've seen RRR. Oh. It's amazing. It's incredible. I mean, I think what's so amazing about it is the level of emotion that it evokes, combined with the spectacle.
If you feel good about your culture, if you feel good about your roots, and if your roots and your culture and your history is inspiring you to tell a particular story, you tell it. India has a long history of freedom struggle, and also we have the ancient stories, the superhero stories, the itihasas, the Puranas, the mythologies, all that we have. It's a treasure trove of stories. So from my childhood, I always imagined the historical characters as the superheroes from the mythology.
I feel like I learned more about this period of history and what the British Empire did from watching your film than I ever learned at school. I mean, does that surprise you and almost frustrate you to know how little is actually taught on the curriculum over here in Britain? Because it's always been something. Britain's sort of murky history is definitely undereducated at our schools, I would say.
I mean, two aspects to it. One is like, I wouldn't say what I'm saying is historically correct. They're historically accurate. There are many liberties that I have taken. But in general, if you see, there are stories even more heart-wrenching than what I showed in the film. And it is very skewed if you say the entire set of Britishers are cruel and very wrong in what they were doing. Usually it is not like that. There will be a lot of gray areas. But like I said before, there are parts of people, there are certain people who have been even more cruel than what I have showed in the film. And again, this is my intention was not to show a history class. No, my intention was to rake up the emotions in the audiences and just go through the roller coaster ride that the film intends you to go to put you through. That's my intention.